Today on Public Eye News, chronic wasting disease has made its way into the UP and more surrounding the disappearance of a Wisconsin girl.
Samantha Carter will join us later in the show to go over this past weekend in sports, and Adam Diaz has a look at our sunny Monday and weather looking ahead. Hi, I'm Devon Lanier.
And I'm Caleb Rydell. Welcome to Public Eye News. The Northern Michigan University Wildcats hockey team is hosting a dinner at the University Center this Sunday in the Great Lakes rooms of the University Center. The head coach for the Wildcats, Grant Patolny, will host the team and guests as a fundraiser for the Junior Wildcats program. The Patolny Pasta Party is a chance for guests to meet the team, win some prizes, and get an update on what is to come this season. This event did so well last year that they packed the Great Lakes rooms and had to get more chairs. They will not be selling tickets at the door. If you would like to purchase a ticket, you must buy it from the Barry Event Center, Lakeview Arena Concessions, or Superior Hockey. Northern Michigan University students have started a new club focusing on the cleanup and conservation of the Upper Peninsula called the Conservation Crew. The Conservation Crew is designed to take some physical action in their community to show how much they love the area. Yesterday afternoon, the crew hosted their second community-wide cleanup effort at Presque Isle Park as they went out there to collect litter. Members of the community heard about the event and joined them at the park. The conservation group is collaborating with Yellow Dog Watershed Preserve, North Country Trails, and the UP Land Conservation and the Marquette's Parks and Rec Department. Yesterday's event was potentially the group's last event before winter.
The first case of chronic wasting disease is confirmed in the UP after a doe in Dickinson County tested positive for the affliction. The 4-year-old doe was shot after a deer damage shooting permit was given to an agricultural farm about 4 miles from the Michigan-Wisconsin border in Waseda Township. The Veterinary Diagnostic Laboratory at Michigan State University in East Lansing and the U.S. Department of Agriculture's National Veterinary Services Laboratory in Ames, Iowa, verified the finding. Chronic wasting disease is a fatal nervous system disease found in deer, moose, and elk. The disease attacks the brain of infected animals, creating small lesions which later result in neurological symptoms. The disease is 100% fatal in animals that contract it. The Marquette County Road Commission have closed County Road 545 South in West Branch Township until Friday for the installation of a box culvert at Sheen Creek. A culvert is a structure that allows water to flow under a road, railroad, trail, or similar obstruction from one side to the other. This closure began today at 7 a.m. and will remain in place until Friday, October 26th. No traffic is allowed to pass the crossing located just over 2 miles south of Highway M94 for the duration of the project. Instead, motorists are encouraged to use the signed detour route.
Now may be a good time to take a trip before the snow shows up if you are in Michigan. The Dearborn-based automotive club, AAA Michigan, has stated that the average statewide gas prices are down 10 cents in the past week, averaging about $2.78. AAA Michigan says the self-serve regular unleaded gas is 19 cents more than it was this time last year. Prices have dropped 26 cents over the last 17 days. Michigan's highest averages are in Marquette at $2.93, and the lowest are in Jackson area at $2.62. The Detroit area currently averages about $2.82. On October 15th, Denise and James Kloss were found in their home after being shot dead. The couple's 13-year-old daughter, Jamie, was found missing when the police arrived, and they believed that she had been abducted by the killer and is still alive. There was an initial search for Jamie of around 100 volunteers the Thursday of her abduction, and now after a week, the authorities are seeking 2,000 volunteers for another search. Billboards and gas station monitors are showing the Amber Alert for Jamie, and the authorities are hoping this will lead to quick results. After the break, we'll be back with your national and international news. Stay tuned.
During World War II, 200,000 women were forced into sexual slavery by the Imperial Japanese Army. After decades of silence and shame, 3 survivors demand to be heard. Join them in their fight for reconciliation. The Apology. on POV.
Tonight at 10, after A Chef's Life, The Final Harvest.
Welcome back. The European company Christie's will auction possessions from the late world-renowned physicist Stephen Hawking in an online sale at the end of October. Items up for bid include 22 items from Hawking, including his doctoral theses on the origins of the universe, some of his many awards and scientific papers, and even a script from one of his appearances on The Simpsons. The items are part of a science sale that also includes papers by Isaac Newton, Charles Darwin, and Albert Einstein. They will be on display in London for several days starting October 30th, and the auction will open for bids between October 31st and November 8th. And Turkey is getting ready to release details on its investigation into the death of Saudi journalist Jamal Khashoggi. It comes just a few days after Saudi Arabia laid out its version of what happened inside its consulate in Turkey. Hillary Lane has the latest from New York.
Newly released security camera footage appears to show Saudi journalist Jamal Khashoggi and his fiancée on the day he disappeared. The footage shows them leaving their apartment in Turkey, apparently headed to the Saudi consulate.
These things unfortunately happen. We want to make sure that those who are responsible are punished.
Saudi Arabia released its version of what happened, saying Khashoggi died during a fistfight with officials in the Saudi consulate in Istanbul, calling it a rogue operation and insisting Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman was never involved.
There obviously was a tremendous mistake made, and what compounded the mistake was the attempt to try to cover up.
Turkish investigators looking into the matter plan to search a car belonging to the Saudi consulate that was found in a parking lot in Istanbul. After nearly 3 weeks, the Saudis have not said where Khashoggi's body is.
Nobody seems to know. Somebody knows. But
President Trump spoke with Turkey's president on the phone Sunday and agreed the case needs to be cleared up.
We haven't finished our review or investigation.
The president of Turkey is promising to release details of his country's investigation on Tuesday, the same day Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman holds a high-profile investment forum in Riyadh. Hillary Lane, CBS News, New York.
The World Health Organization has said that the Zika virus has been reported in 86 countries. Now in northern India, there have been more than 100 cases of Zika virus in an area where there are palaces and forts that bring in many tourists every year. These new cases are coming out at the same time state health department investigations are tracking the virus in pregnant women in their first trimester. The first case of Zika in India was from a western state in January of 2017. Zika can cause fever, joint pain, rashes, and has been linked to birth deformities. Thousands of Central American migrants on the trek to the United States are vowing to continue their march to the U.S. border, even though President Trump wants them to turn away. Over the weekend, the migrants forced their way into southern Mexico, surging past police barricades and crossing a river on makeshift rafts. Mexican authorities say that more than 5,000 people, including women and children, are in the caverns. Adriana Diaz has more from Tapachula, Mexico.
On Sunday, the caravan lurched forward, carrying babies, suitcases, and hope. In this rushing river of migrants, it was hard for families to stay together.
¿Quiénes son estas niñas? Who are these girls?
We came across two sisters separated from their parents.
She said she was traveling with her mother and her father. Now she's not with them. She says her sister was taking care of her.
This woman, watching over the sisters, told us they were put on a truck by their mother, who then disappeared into the crowd.
She says she has 2 kids also. She's not leaving them.
We found another woman, Karen Lanza, looking for her son after he'd fallen behind. He eventually caught up, exhausted. They've been walking for 10 days. To get here, most migrants crossed this river between Guatemala and Mexico. Some entered legally through this bottlenecked bridge. Others, out of desperation, jumped, preferring to swim across the border instead. We saw federal police on standby, but they didn't stop illegal crossings. Esnaider Davila sought shelter under a tarp. He's 16, alone, and has never been to school.
They want to leave.
Por violencia, por falta de dinero.
He said because of violence, because there's no money. He just wants to have an education.
The migrants' next stop is 25 miles north to the city of Huixtlo. Every single person we've spoken to told us that they are not deterred by President Trump's vow to keep them from entering the U.S. Adriana Diaz, CBS News, Tapachula, Mexico.
And we'll be back from our break with your weather and sports.
On Native America, the Western Hemisphere is the birthplace of some of the greatest civilizations on Earth.
These ancient people were keen observers of everything.
The first Native peoples were connected to Earth, sky, and water.
This art links people with their environment and the heavenly bodies of the sky.
Producing some of the most advanced cultures in history.
They realized there's a different way of looking at the world.
Tuesday night at 9 after the Great American Read.
Hi, and welcome back to your Public Eye News Weather. I am Adam Diaz, your weatherman for today, and behind me is a nice fall, sunny NMU campus. And looking at our current conditions, we are looking at partly cloudy. The temperature is at 56 degrees, wind southwest at 9 miles an hour. Barometric pressure is at 29.87 and falling. Looking at tonight, we're looking at some showers, a low of 37 degrees, winds northwest at 17 miles an hour. Looking towards tomorrow, we're also looking at some showers, the high of 39 degrees, winds north at 14 miles an hour. And looking around the UP, we're looking at sunny overall with a little bit of clouds here and there. From Sault Ste. Marie all the way to Menominee, we're looking inside of the 50s. From Sault Ste. Marie being at 53 to Menominee being at 54. And then we're going over to Iron Mountain all the way into beautiful Marquette, going from in the 50s as well, from 56 all the way to the high of 56. Looking ahead into our week, we are going on to Wednesday, the high of 38, the low of 29, and mostly cloudy. Thursday, we look at the high of 46, the low of 36, and mostly cloudy. Friday, we look at the high of 45, the low of 38, and cloudy. We're looking at another gloom week, and I do hear you have a little bit of gloom news as well.
Unfortunately, our NMU hockey team wasn't doing as well as we would have hoped. But the NMU hockey team fell twice on the road over the weekend by scores of 4-1 and 5-0 to then number 4 ranked St. Cloud State. The Wildcats got their only goal of the weekend from freshman forward Griffin Lown on Friday, while senior goaltender Ate Tolvanen stopped a combined 64 shots over both contests. Northern dropped to 1-3 overall and begins WCHA play this weekend, hosting Bemidji State on opening weekend at the Barrie Event Center. Puck drop is set for 7:07 p.m. Friday and Saturday. Moving from the ice to the turf, the NMU football team got back into the win column after a 65-7 drubbing of Lawrence Tech University at the Superior Dome on Saturday. Senior running back Jake Mayon had 121 yards and three first quarter touchdowns, and now sits just 90 yards shy of the all-time school rushing record set by NMU Sports Hall of Fame running back Steve Avery, who played for the Wildcats from 1985 to 1988 and rushed for 3,686 career yards. The Wildcats are now 2-6 overall as Mayon looks to break the rushing record against rival Michigan Tech this Saturday when the Wildcats host the Huskies at the Battle for the Miners Cup. Kickoff from the Dome is slated for 1 p.m. And moving from college football to the NFL, the Detroit Lions picked up a 32-21 road victory over the Miami Dolphins on Sunday. The Lions are now 3-3 on the season, with quarterback Matthew Stafford completing 18 of 22 passes for 217 yards with 2 touchdowns. Running back Kerryon Johnson added 158 yards rushing, while tight end Michael Roberts had 2 touchdown catches. The Lions remain in a tight NFC North race, with the Chicago Bears also sitting at 3-3, the Green Bay Packers at 3-2-1, and the division-leading Minnesota Vikings at 4-2-1. But that's all the time we have for you here today at Public Eye News. Tune in again tomorrow.
The preceding program was produced in studios located in the Edgar L. Hardin Learning Resources Center by WNMU-TV, Northern Michigan University Public Television.